What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got Mona Lisa in the back. Don't forget, get your entries for a chance to win that badass truck. Cinco de Mayo past weekend, we was out in XRP having a little fun with this thing. We was running ASAG, all steel, all glass. As you can see, it's still on the trailer. We had a real bad rainstorm coming through whenever we left the track, and I mean, this thing is super dirty. It's still on it. I haven't even pulled it out of the trailer. It's been there ever since. But I'm going to show you a little bit of what's going on here in the shop. We got Crawfish that I've been working on. I'm going to show you a couple of things that we've been doing to it, and the new motor, which is a all billet 454 cubic inch. It's a 454 cubic inch. It's a tall deck motor. It's a billet block. It's got a pretty badass head. It's got a canted valve head. You know, of course, it's got a dry sump, so we got to fabricate mounts for the dry sump tank. We had to change the oil pan. The one that it came in was actually it was just too big, so I had to order a different one. It's still a 3-stage scavenge, which for those of you who don't know, 3-stage scavenge means that it's got 3 lines sucking from the pan into the pump, and then the pump pushes the oil into the oil filter, and then from the oil filter it goes to the motor. And at the same time, instead of having the oil in the motor itself, it's got a separate tank, and that's where it holds all the oil. The oil pan is real small, and all it does is for the excess oil to drop, and it'll suck it out of there, meaning that it's just a lot better for high RPMs, for big horsepower. It's just better oil control. I mean, a lot of things had to be changed, of course. Before, the previous motor that it had was just a regular wet sump deal, so it had a factory type oil pan, internal oil pump. I mean, it just had a lot of factory components. So this one's completely different, so a lot of it's got to be changed. The turbo kit's got to be changed. Holy shit, those motherfuckers they're loud. Them frogs or whatever they are, I don't know. Where is it at? It's hiding somewhere. I don't even know. Somewhere up there, probably. Anyway, I mean, it had a lot of stock type stuff. You know, the dry sump tank, which is right here. This is where we mounted the dry sump tank, and it's a 2-gallon tank. I mean, it's got a motor plate now. Before it didn't have a motor plate, so we had to fabricate some mounts for it. It still needs some kickdown bars from the cage to tie up to it, but so far it's already tied up. It's slow. The motor is as slow as it can be now, being that we were able to change the position of the motor. That changed. The turbos that we had before, obviously, they were good up to a certain point, and apparently my boy at Force Inductions told me that we were overspinning them. Our turbos were, I think, hell, like 72 millimeters, I think. Garrett's 72s, not 100% sure, but somewhere around there. I mean, I think they were 72s or 76s. Hell, I don't even know. But anyway, I mean, apparently we were exceeding the shaft RPM, so they started to flex. They started to move around. The propeller hit the front cover just a little bit. It didn't damage anything, but it just hit it. So, I mean, you know, if we kept on running it with this motor obviously will make a lot more power. You know, eventually one of them could have catastrophically failed, blow up, whatever the case is, you know, send parts flying out, which is not good, you know, whenever you don't have a hood. You don't want any parts flying out anyway, especially parts from the turbo that are spinning probably 60, 70,000 RPMs, give or take. So I hit up my boy, Force Inductions, and he is sending me a new set of turbos. So now it's going to have a set of 88s. It's one of his newer models. It's an 88 millimeter inducer, We're not really going to talk too much about the exhaust side or what blades and propellers and everything that he's sending us, but it's a pretty trick turbo. I mean, I have a set of 88s in Mona, and this thing has made well over 2,700 horsepower. So the new turbos that we're getting for this thing, they're actually the upgraded version of the ones that are in Mona. And well, you can just imagine. I mean, it should be able to make more power than what it actually can use. Not saying that we're actually going to run all the boost to them, because obviously we probably couldn't be able to, you know, put it down the racetrack with the truck. I mean, it's still a 4x4. But we are going to try. You can do it! Believe me, we are going to try. So, I mean, with that being said, the steering has to be changed. The heads are a lot different than the other ones. So the exhaust ports, being that it's a canted valve head, the exhaust ports are moved about almost 2 inches forward. Well, towards one side, because of how the head design is and everything. So the headers actually fell in a different position now. The crossover pipe doesn't fit anymore because it's a tall deck, so everything's a lot wider, you know. So that's going to have to be refabricated. Cold side also has to be refabricated because the throttle body is in a different position. You know, it's not straight like it was before. It's kind of pointed downwards. The turbo itself, it's going to be maybe a little bigger, the compressor side. So that's going to have to be changed a little bit too. So, I mean, there's quite a changes that are going to be made. The whole wiring of the truck is going to be definitely changed up. Everything's getting brand new switch panel, the whole 9 yards. I mean, everything's going to be from fresh. There ain't nothing in there that is going to stay just because we're starting with a brand new motor. So I would prefer rather starting with everything brand new, making sure that all the wiring harness is correct, make sure that there's no issues, nothing like that. It just makes it better at the end of the day. The injectors are going to get upgraded to 850s. We had 550-pound injectors, so they're going to be changed to 850 pounds. And this intake has a screw-in type injector, so we send them back to atomizer, and we're getting them swapped over from a traditional O-ring to a screw-in type on the bottom side of the intake. And definitely when you start running a lot of boost, I mean, it's better to maintain the injector securely in place. But that'll be coming. We're waiting on that. As you can see, we got a whole bunch of parts here. We got a wiring harness. We got new injector harness. We got an ignition harness. EGTs. You know, this go around, we're gonna put some EGTs on it. I don't usually tune off the EGT, but I can tell if something's going wrong. Just basically check through it. I mean, I normally, every pass, I take the spark plugs out and I look at them, which to me, that's the best tuning tool that you can have. I mean, if you can read a spark plug, you're golden. Don't trust the white band. The white band is not 100% accurate. It is a good reference, but it's not 100% accurate. The spark plug is the only thing that's in the cylinder that will actually tell you what's going on. If you got too much timing, if you got too much fuel, too little timing, or too little fuel. So that will definitely give you all the data that you need. And in other projects that we got going on here, I've got some more parts so I can get to work on Juan's truck, which we got some new nice shiny stuff here. Some stainless header stuff. That way I can build the headers. We got some flanges from Noonan. Obviously, this truck has a Noonan billet block also a canted valve head. Got a bunch of material there to build some headers. Also Jose's turbos, which is also a set of 88s. Imagine that. Maybe I like running 88s, I don't know. I just like that number. Like I said, we've been waiting on parts. I've got all the Pro 600 stuff. I've got all the Holley stuff. I've got the wiring. Like I said, was just waiting on some header material so I can get to work on this thing and start fabricating, welding some pieces together. This is also another one that I've done a while back ago. Finally, the motor got done. I need to also put some EGTs on it, so I need to take the headers back off. I need to weld some EGT bungs in there so I can put the EGTs. This car's already wired. Somebody else wired the car, which they did a real nice job on it. I need to move some stuff right there by the turbo and the fuel pump. Whenever I did the turbo kit on this thing, it didn't have the fuel pump, and I kind of figured that it would be in the way, and sure enough, it's touching it a little bit, but nothing crazy, nothing that I can't fix. So obviously we're gonna change some stuff around on it. I got to wire a drive shaft sensor, fix the seat, I've put windows in it, make sure the shifter works, see all the CO2 stuff. Just kind of tidy up everything, get it, put a tune in it, of course, obviously, and get it up and running. This car is also on methanol. It's got a, imagine that, it's got an 88 millimeter also. But this is a precision, you know, single Terpsky. Don't forget, Mona Lisa giveaway. It ends on, you name it, July 16, 2023. Look at that. Let's see. Man, that thing's pretty. Don't forget, flacosperformance.com. Get your entries, get your decals, whatever is it that you want to buy. Remember, it only takes one. That's it. It only takes one entry to win that truck. Make sure to hit up flacosperformance.com. You'll get your merchandise. You could be the lucky winner. Question is, what are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it if you win it? Clean. It's been sitting here ready all this time, and it's gonna go to one lucky winner. Who would that be? But for the most part, I mean, you know, just show you a little bit of what I normally do late at night, which is get my ass to work. hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to click and subscribe. See y'all.